Great. So let's talk for just a second about how franchising is different from other forms of business ownership. Okay. You know, when I was teaching entrepreneurship years ago in LA, I asked one of my students what he thought about franchising or why he wanted to learn about franchising. He said, well, look, man, you know, I met Ronald McDonald at my cousin's 6-year-old birthday party, and the guy was a moron. Like, if he could start a business, then anybody could, right? That includes me. You know, a little misguided, right? But I do want to address his point for a second. You know, people think that a franchise has a higher or lower rate of success than a traditional entrepreneurial venture. Well, it depends on the franchise. I mean, there's many other things. Again, as you'll see in some other videos, it's very hard to generalize about entrepreneurship. But what I would say is that about 25% of franchises do not see their first anniversary. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, the advantage of a franchise is the fact that you are buying a successful product or a trademark. Okay? So people already know what you're doing. They already kind of recognize the product. And in exchange for buying that recognition, you buy the trademark, you buy the process. So in exchange for that, maybe a little help up in theory, you have to pay some sort of a royalty fee in exchange, and also a franchising fee. So you're paying for access, you're paying for recognition, you're paying for a name. Okay? Now, some of the franchise ownerships are very long and established. I mean, McDonald's, Wendy's, you know, Holiday Inn Express, you know, whatever. These are very long existing and well established. But however, new entrepreneurs and new ventures can start doing franchise arrangements at any time. I worked with one guy here in Abilene, and he has a franchise arrangement to sell Italian ice. Okay, it's not exactly the same, you know, same recognition. It's not as old as McDonald's or Wendy's or some of these, but it's still something that's very recognizable, although it is somewhat new. Now, the thing that you want to think about before you even go into this franchising thing is look at the Federal Trade Commission's website, and they've got something called Buying a Franchise, quote, a consumer guide. Read that, okay? That will help you decide if franchising is right for you. The other thing that you can go is look at your Small Business Administration, you know, any city will have them, and look at their online workbook. They have one called Is Franchising Right for Me? Now, you can also go on Google, and there's like some online quizzes to help you determine if franchising is right for you. But remember, a lot of these are owned by franchising brokers, and they're trying to sell you a service. So they don't necessarily have your interests, your best interests in mind. So just take that with a grain of salt. And of course, if you're unsure about one particular franchise over another, ask these franchises for a franchise disclosure document. That should give you an extensive outline of how regulated that particular franchise is, how regulated the franchise market in general is, any kind of issues, questions, concerns. And I think if you read those three documents, the one from the SBA, the FTC, and the franchise disclosure document, I think you'd have a pretty good idea if going into a franchise was the right thing for you or not. Okay? Great. So the next thing we're going to talk about are product and trademark versus business format franchises. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you like it, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe down below and post any comments if you have them. Thanks, I'll see you in the next video.